What's up guys, Nathendo145 here, and today we are going to be reacting to one of my videos again. Today we're going to be reacting to the sequel to A Trip to Nostalgia Lane, which is going to be the the 2010s, the early 2010s sounds. So we're going to see what that's all about. Originally, I was going to have a voice here for everyone that would say, "Choose your voice." That actually sounded like "Choose your fighter" from Smash 4 and Ultimate, but I just decided not to because it'd take too much work. And also, I would have had a voice that said what the answer was, but that's not going to be the case. That was not the case because I just got too lazy to actually do it. That I said I loved in the past reaction video. That I liked it more than the original music. By the way, I still play on the PlayStation 3 almost every single day now. I really enjoy it, especially the way that they've made the menu now. The way that they have so many options or so many things on the menu is actually very interesting, and I've never seen that on a console. This actually gets its menu idea design, I guess, from the PlayStation and from the PlayStation Portable. Keep in mind, these are the new sounds from the 2010s that did not exist when the consoles originally launched. Honestly, I like the, I think this startup was not just used for the Metro dashboard, but also the dashboard, I think it was called, let me think. I think it was called NXE or something, but whatever, if this was used on not just the Metro dashboard that's on the consoles today, let me know. Because I'd absolutely love to know more of this information, because I'm not entirely familiar with the Xbox 360 information, just like I wasn't entirely familiar with it when I did my unboxing of it. And I will tell you that my Xbox 360 is not the very first model, and I can tell because the disc tray is not glossy. It's the arcade model that actually just has the disc tray that matches the plastic of the rest of the console. But the Xbox 360, at least the newer menu, is kind of similar to the PlayStation 3 a little bit. And Xbox Live was really amazing for the Xbox 360, even though I never tried it. But the fact that you could buy subscription cards was actually pretty cool. And you didn't have to, I'm not sure if you could actually get it through the Microsoft Store or wherever. But who likes the Blades dashboard on the Xbox 360 better? I do. Or the NXE or whatever that involves the updated Windows Media Center from Windows 7. Whereas the Blades dashboard would have Media Center for Windows XP for the most part. Anyways, I've already talked too much, so let's continue. The Nintendo DSi, which the Nintendo DSi is the model that removed GBA compatibility, but it had cameras and an SD card slot, so it had some improvements, and it actually had music on its menu, so the idea must have came from the Wii. But this is basically like the early version of the 3DS, because the 3DS, all models of the 3DS actually did have cameras and SD card slots. but every single model of the 3DS could play DS games. Just as long as they didn't require the GBA slot for a DS option pack. But the reason I'm doing DSi is because that was the latest model in the 2010s. In 2010, the DSi XL released in North America, and exactly a year later would have came the 3DS. So a few of these sounds, well, you guys already know this one, but a few of these sounds are actually from the previous video too. Yes, that's the Wii, which is still the system that I have the most games for right now. I have 18 games for it, and I've actually not bought a game in a few months, actually. I mean, fair point, I did get a lot of games for Christmas, so yeah. This one was one of my favorite sounds to add, actually, because the 2010s. I've said this in a few videos, but the reason I wanted to involve the 2010s in the early 2010s in my gaming interest is because it also involved the Nintendo 3DS, which I really do enjoy. I personally really enjoy my original Nintendo 3DS compared to the other models I've had in my hands. I've had almost every model, just not the original new 3DS, which the new 3DS XL was the most desirable one, and it's the most expensive one on eBay at least, and Amazon. But I personally like my original 3DS. Just the way it is, Nintendo went all out with it. And some things are not there with the 3DS XL, such as there's a light that says 3D instead of it just being embossed plastic with the 3DS XL. When the system is on, the 3D symbol would turn green when the console is on, even if you had the 3D off. But the 3D light, I guess it would go off if something on the console does not support the 3D. But the 3D is what made the system. It cost a lot for handheld, but it was the Wii's launch price at $249.99. But it still is an amazing handheld, and I still do enjoy playing games on it today. I actually have not had a 3DS XL in my hands for quite some time, but I have. It's been like 3 years since I've had a 3DS XL in my hand, and my friend Logan actually has a blue one, and blue also matches the color for my original 3DS, except almost all 3DS XL colors, at least in North America, even if they are red or something on the outside, they're for the most part white or black on the inside, unless you have the gold Zelda model. And I'm pretty sure the reason why they have the 3D light not on the other models is probably because it's a cost-saving measure, because it probably was expensive to add that. Even though the 3DS XL did cost more at launch, probably due to the fact they made it bigger and it had bigger screens and improved battery life, which is also part of the reason why the DSi XL was a little bit more expensive at launch than the DSi, because the 3DS XL is basically the exact same size as the DSi XL. Now I'll give you a hint. This is the, even though you might not be familiar with this since it sold poorly, unless you're a big Nintendo fan, this is the console that sold very low. Here are your options. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Yes, Wii U. But I actually like the Wii U. I don't. If it was a success, I'm pretty sure I'd still like it anyway, but people don't know about it is the problem, so that's why some people just consider it bad, because most people have not played on it. But I actually don't think it deserves the bad treatment. I just don't think it was well known enough. I just because I don't think it really deserves a bad treatment compared to the GameCube, where it actually had a reason that it failed, where the Wii U was just not well known because people were confused that the gamepad was just the controller for the Wii, where the gamepad is just the main controller for the console, the Wii U. But I'm pretty sure you guys know the case now, since now we're on the other side of it. Now it's about 12 years from when it came out. This is the only Windows startup here. Windows 7. And I will give you a brief history on how Windows was used, at least to what I see. Even in YouTube videos, not just in reality. But I'm pretty sure in 2001, at least early 2001, people were still sticking with Windows 98, not 2000. But I'm pretty sure when XP came out, people did use it for their primary operating system. Some schools actually still had it in 2013 to 2014 when around the time it ended support. But a lot of computers I don't think upgraded to Vista, especially considering the criticism that it received. But I think in around 2011 is when schools or businesses started upgrading to Windows 7. Definitely by 2015, and even that's the time Windows 10 released, but since people probably didn't have the money to get Windows 10, that's probably why they stuck with Windows 7 even in 2016, until 2017 when they switched to Windows 10. But this computer runs Windows 11 though, but yeah. That's how I saw Windows in my life, but I actually saw Windows XP when I was in preschool, actually. Computers were running it even when that was the year that it ended support in 2014. And even some companies today, even some work businesses, computers still run Windows 7. Not as much today though, but like a few years ago that was the case, probably because the companies didn't have any money to upgrade their computers to a decent operating system for the time. But I actually saw this operating system way more in my first years, in my young years. My father actually had a computer that ran this OS, so I always anytime I saw this screen, I mean, anytime I hear the music, especially, nostalgia just rushes to my head whenever I hear this. And now we have Nickelodeon, unlike the previous video where we didn't have anything related to Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon also had some nostalgia for me because this is something I grew up on too in my early years. Alright, never mind. I was gonna stop to get a drink, but I realized that because of the updates to OBS, now I don't have the ability to pause the recording, so I won't be able to go and get another drink, unfortunately. But I can wait. I can just do this video. Yeah, I thought I had something to say. Never mind. Now, you guys probably already know what this is if you saw it in the past video, but I want you to guess. Do you think this is going to be the Disney variant or the Walt Disney variant? actually started in late 2011 and is used, well, maybe not so much right now, but was used later on. But the Walt Disney Pictures variant started in early 2006. Personally, I can definitely tell what is what. And it is Walt Disney, excuse me, or Disney. Here it is. It is Walt Disney, even though in the 2010s, this one only lasted for 2 years in that decade, whereas all the rest of the years just used Disney. But again, this text here is a little bit bigger than the Disney variant. But one thing you'll notice, maybe not so much with this, but certain movies actually have this to be darker or at least a little bit lighter on certain movies. I mean, with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, they're darker on purpose, but I don't know the reason exactly. And with Enchanted, I mean, it was with the movie Enchanted, it was actually way brighter than this, and we actually went into this window of the castle, which we don't get with other movies. But anyway, yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Do you think this one will be the original Luxo Jr. from 95, or do you think it will be 2006 Luxo Jr.? Alright, here we go. 2006 Luxo Jr. So, oh, and also, let me go back for a second. The reason how I can tell that this was the Walt variant was definitely because a majority of movies, at least that I've seen, actually have the black bars on the top and bottom. A majority of them are Walt movies, not so much Disney movies, or Disney variant. But since this was 2006 Luxo Jr., the first time we see it with this is, I think it's Cars. And then all the rest of the movies until 2018 with The Incredibles 2, even though they have a different theme for it, with it looking all red. And movies Cars up to Cars 2. Oh no, I'm mistaken, and I think this is 2008, but 2008 Luxo Jr. So this was used for the Walt variant. 2006 Luxo Jr. was actually used from WALL-E up to Cars 2 in 2011. And then this carried on with the Disney variant until 2019 with Toy Story, when Toy Story 4 changed another look for Luxo Jr. Again, if you guys watch it, logos have remained in the modern movies, or at least the music. Because I mean, now there's I think, if I'm not mistaken, except this one only has a modern time. And actually, this movie actually had, I think it was 75 years, a 75 years celebrating if you watched it with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the movie. Of course, Windows 8.1 couldn't even be in here because I couldn't find a sound for it to put in this video. I've actually never seen Sony movies with these black bars. But really the only, well, this logo also did exist with the same music back in the early 2000s, except it would have said a Sony Pictures Television something, I think something like that, a Sony Television Company, instead of just a Sony company, except now it looks much modern and it actually shows it with the Sony logo. So it's cool that we have two Sony things in here, one for this and one for PlayStation. I guess Sony is bigger with PlayStation in Japan, and I guess they're more bigger on movies for America. Especially since a lot of the movies I've seen anyway, such as Pixels, about video games actually, um, I guess it's filmed in America, but they definitely use American actors. I like when the minions sing the music actually a little bit better than the original music. And surprisingly, they don't use the minions version of the music throughout the rest of the and something I will say about movies, by the way, is the fact that if you like watch them on streaming services now, um, I guess, they would have their more modern logos instead of their original logos of the time. Like, for example, let's take Disney for an instance. They will show the 2006 logo for movies, I think, that are older than 2006. Like, I've seen Finding Nemo through Disney Plus that is way better quality. The rest of the movie is the same, but what's changed is the Disney variant 2006 logo and the fact they used 2006 Luxo, 2008 Luxo Jr. And with Nickelodeon, if you buy a show on demand or through Amazon, they will show you the logo that I showed you through this video in the beginning of it, even if that logo did not exist then. But they show it for their older recordings for the most part, for their older episodes for the most part. And actually, in the case of Universal, the first time that I ever watched Shrek, I've not seen it with the original logos. I've seen it with this logo, actually. This exact one right here. Even though the movies are from 2001, or I've only seen the first one and the second one, which have been 2001 to 2004. I mean, an easier way to watch it with the original logos is to buy the original release DVD, not the Blu-ray re-release or anything like that. If you buy the original, which you still can if you use eBay a lot, you can. And that's how I've been getting my DVDs, actually. I don't usually buy Blu-ray re-releases. Or digital HD, I think it's called. This is actually the modern logo we see today, except I don't think it's like that. But, I mean, not this video logo, but like the text logo, just the text, is what we have today for Netflix. I don't really watch Netflix, I'll be honest, but I know this. And actually, Netflix was updated actually through the the middle of the Wii's lifespan, actually. But I will mention about Netflix is that around 2010, I think, um, the 7th gen consoles actually got it. You can buy it from the console's online stores. So I think it was available for the PS3, the 360, and the Wii, and the 3DS at the time. The DS did not get it since it's more limited, I would assume. And the fact that its shop, I think, only had the DSi shop only was for DSi games, DSiware. But yeah, there's that. But the 3DS actually was pretty cool, being able to watch movies in 3D, and even with YouTube. This sound, for me to add it, was kind of a strange idea, but it is YouTube. What I say strange is the fact that this is actually the sound of YouTube from the Wii channel, because I couldn't find another sound for YouTube that actually existed in those days that isn't from the modern days. But this is the logo YouTube originally had in 2005. It was revised this way until 2015, and then it was changed to today to be the one today that we had since 2017. But I like the older YouTube logo better, and let me check actually. Yes, as you can see over here, I actually have YouTube Redux installed, so that I can get it to look like the old YouTube again, even though it's not necessarily the old YouTube, especially since there was a bunch of changes that were added that make YouTube what is YouTube today. But YouTube at the time, since we were on the topic of watching movies through consoles, uh, it actually still works on the PS3. I don't think it works on the 360 anymore, but you could have bought it on the 360. You also had it on the Wii, which actually the seller who sold me their Wii through eBay, actually they had YouTube on it, but you can't use it anymore since the service is discontinued. And it was on the 3DS that actually used this exact same music from the Wii. Whenever you tried to open it through the menu, when you opened it on the menu, it would actually play that sound from the, which is originally from the Wii. It was released for the 3DS in, I believe, 2013. And before it was released on the Wii U, you could actually just use YouTube through the Wii Shop channel on the Wii menu, which is a pretty cool thing about having the Wii built into the Wii U. But that's one of the best things about the Wii U is you could access the entire Wii from it and the catalog from the Wii Shop channel. So you could have watched YouTube through that. Which for YouTube on the Wii was released in 2012, the same year the Wii U came out, but it would release for the Wii U about a year later. And I'm not sure, I think in 2011 it was released for the 360, and I'm not sure when it was released for the PlayStation 3. But either way, this has been a good reaction video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my next video, and I will see you guys later.